NFL players' strike started in 1982 on September 20th when the NFL players united to strike on their owners.
NFL players went on strike for friendlier forms of free agency and more money. Walter Camp, a Yale football player from Connecticut, is considered a father of American football. He took ideas from the game rugby and modified it into football. Pudge, another Yale football player, was the first person to get paid. He got paid $500.
Before this, NFL players were paid way less. For example, in 1981, the average salary was $78,000, and after the strikes in 82 and 87, the average was $299,000. NFL stars like Mark Gastineau,
Randy White,
Joe Montana,
and Steve Largent all went on strike.
I was doing deliveries for a rust proofing company, and I got a call, and they said the Redskins want to know if you want to come play during the strike. And I thought to myself, no, I want to drive around in this car doing deliveries for a rust proofing company. Of course I want to play.
My brother John said, the Washington Redskins called you. And I said, get out of here. And I said, okay, who was it? And he said, Charlie and I said, Charlie Casserly?
This one really scouting now.
That was my dad's living room. I'm just sitting there with my Count Chocula, Fruity Pebbles, and when the phone rang, I didn't care if I was playing against Northport High School's JV team. All I know is I'm gonna get on the ground.
Charlie Casserly is calling my house sometimes twice a day. The girl that I was dating at that time even called her house.
After players started to go on strike, NFL owners had a roster deadline where they had to put certain players on the roster, and a lot of their team was gone. They needed a certain amount of players on the roster.
On union football teams to show what they can do. This afternoon was the deadline for players who want to cross the picket lines, and nearly 40 did. ABC's Ned Potter takes a look at an unusual weekend.
Ed Too Tall Jones, Mike Renfro. Those two Dallas Cowboys were among the players who broke ranks with the strikers today. On Sunday, the All-Star Jones will chase a New York Jets replacement quarterback named David Norrie.
They know the reasons that they went back, and the players know and understand why. Hopefully in the future we'll get back to the table, but right now we'll just have to wait and see.
When the replacements play this weekend, a great deal will be on the line for the strikers, the team owners, and all the businesses that depend for their success on football.
So they had to hire scab push from all over. The players and fans were made because the players didn't know how long owners would be satisfied with scabs, and were worried the owners wouldn't pay them enough. The fans hated it.
So far, 250,000 tickets have been returned, and nobody knows how much the television audience will shrink. The big three auto companies have already pulled all their ads.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chrysler Motors.
Organized labor is behind the strikers. At a rally in Philadelphia Sunday, they plan to ring the stadium with noisy...
The Jets quarterback got injured in the middle of the game, and since their backup quarterback was on strike, the only quarterback they could use was the backup punter. He threw 2 touchdown passes in only one game, and he's the starting punter.
Fans went on strike against players and owners. Redskins full of scab putters upset the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. It was one of the greatest upsets of all time. John Elway and the Broncos are the AFC champions, so they had to face the Redskins in the Super Bowl. And it was a blowout. Washington won, full of scabs. The 6-month-long strike was the longest strike in history, after many stars walked off of their teams into the streets. Fans mad at players and owners. Owners finally came to agreement to raise the salaries, adding new medical rights for players and shortening the season to 9 games. Players could also get paid while not playing in the game. NFL also gave owners a higher cap salary of $1.6 billion.
In 2011, an NFL star cornerback named Richard Sherman went on strike for higher pay. Because players strike back then, it was easier now, and players are getting paid off the job they're willing to strike.
So if players do get injured, they can still get paid off the job. That's probably the biggest impact of the strike.